Hello guys, this is Linas LY2H Hotel. Summer's ended, autumn's here, rains are coming. But whatever the weather, whatever the season, there are always sunny days which call upon us. Stand up from your chair, take your radio along with you and go for a walk. But before we do that, shouldn't we make a stop for a while and think what kind of equipment, what kind of antenna should I use, and in general, how I'm gonna operate in this hiking endeavor. Stay tuned and I'll show you my backpack arrangement for this experiment. The basis for the whole construction is a backpack chair. It's really a backpack chair. It could be used for sitting also. Very simple, very easy, and very cheap. As it comes to the radio, I think Elecraft KX2 is unbeatable in this category. It's very small, it's lightweight, and it's got everything in one box. The CW pedal, the key pedal, the inbuilt microphone. You don't need to have any handy mic. It's got inbuilt antenna tuner. I've been thinking in the beginning, maybe should I use for this Urban hiking QRP operation ISO FT8117, which is wonderful radio, but it's got no antenna tuner. So then I thought maybe should I use ICOM IC705. It's also a wonderful radio, but it's a little bit too big first for walking and talking. And it's got no antenna tuner either. So Elecraft KX2, which actually it's the whole shack in one little box, the pocket size box basically. It's got everything. And last but not least, it's not just pure 5 watts. Elecraft KX2 can release full 12 watts output if you use an external battery pack, which I'm gonna do. So my Elecraft KX2 got its so-called side protective bars and both the heatsink installed on one of them. So this allows me to use it like in the hiking situation, just to carry it on my belly. And for that I borrowed from my ISO FT817 the shoulder strap, which will go like this. As it comes for the antenna, it was a difficult choice. First thought which came to my mind was shouldn't I use the wonderful, nice, looking like a toy Elecraft AX1 antenna. It's working, it's okay, it's coil loaded, and it's could operate well on 20 and 17 meter bands. Probably end up with the antenna tuner, because you need to use antenna tuner anyway, but the whip is just a little bit longer than 1 meter, and this not gonna be very efficient or sufficient antenna. So it works, it's fun to try. You can operate as a walkie-talkie with it, operating one hand. Everything's very nice, and there are guys reporting very good results with this antenna, especially if you are somewhere on the at the ocean and the big water. So, but not for me, I think, not good for urban hiking. So then there is better antenna. It comes as original whip from Buddy Pole set. But it's also a little bit too short antenna. It's maybe 1 meter 60 or something like that, and it would take a coil. A coil in my situation would mean that the coil should go here, and then the antenna. So for the loading coil, you need also to switch the taps, and it's not so convenient when everything is on your back. Best of all, of course, would have been this monster MFJ 5 meter long whip, but 5 meter on backpack with such a not very rugged holder out of question. It's simply too heavy. It's simply too heavy of an antenna. So the only things left, and that's the best candidate, it's another whip from body pole set, and it's the so-called prolonged body pole whip. It's almost 3 meters long, is okay to operate just without the loading coil, and it covers from 40 to 10. And last but not least, for the fully functioning system, of course, I will need a counterpoise. That's a nice piece of wire, 4 meters long, almost 4 meters long, which came originally with the AX1 antenna in one set. So it's made of a very flexible multi-strand wire, and it's okay. You can fix it to the special bolt here, or just straight to the radio, and you can walk with it even, and it won't break. The last thing, I will use 2 meters, around 2 meters of simple RG58 cable with the two BNC connectors on the ends. For the sake of testing, I've installed my backpack frame on my backyard's fence, just to make it easier for measurements. It would be not very comfortable to keep it on myself and to make measurements at the same time, but it's nearly the same height as me. Maybe the fence will make some difference or some influence onto the performance of the antenna, but just for my testing, this won't make very dramatic difference from the real situation, like walking somewhere in the street. So this is my small tripod in the role of a holding bracket, which is fixed by the hose clamp to the frame of the backpack. This is the holding plate, and this is the telescopic whip stretching up into the sky for 2 meters 86 centimeters, almost 3 meter whip. And here we have nano VNA and radio Elecraft KX2. Let's check the SWR with my nano VNA F. I've established the range of measurement from 7 megahertz to 30 megahertz, and we see that on 7 megahertz the SWR is pretty high, 7.96, 95, almost 8. So now let's go up the frequency and see what's on 30 meter band. The closest value we can get here is 10.2 megahertz, and here we see the SWR of 6.3738. 14 megahertz 20 meter band, the nice, we can get the 14.130, nice middle band frequency on 20, and here we see 3.47. So it means that with frequency getting higher, the SWR getting lower. Very nice. 17 meter 18 megahertz band, 18.04, which is 1.89, or 18.270, which is almost the same, 1.92 SWR. It's already less than 2. Theoretically, one could operate without the tuner. 15 meter band. Alright, we can, in the CW portion, we can get around 21.03 megahertz. So on 15 meters we have 1.61. Frequency is 24.9, and the SWR is 1.3. Pretty nice. So 10 meter band, 28.160 megahertz frequency, and we have 1.7 SWR, also pretty nice. So we have the range from almost 1 to 8 of SWR on 40 meters to less than 2 on higher frequency bands. So this is gonna be a big challenge for Elecraft KX2 automatic antenna tuner, and I'm very curious to know how will this little tuner cope with this challenge. So KX2 is ready. Let's start with the 40-meter band where the SWR was extremely high, 8 to 1. .1. Let's try again. Alright, so after a few attempts, we're getting pretty nice 1 to 1 SWR even on 40 meters. Right. Now we change the band to 30-meter band. So here the SWR initially on Nano VNA antenna analyzer was showing more than 6. Tuning. First attempt 1.7. Let's try once more. 1.7. Okay, 1 to 1.7. Tuning. No problem. 1 to 1. Perfect. 1 to 1. Alright, 15-meter band. 1 to 1. 12-meter band. Tuning. 1 to 1 also. Perfect. And 10-meter band. CW portion of it. 1 to 1. So all bands from 40 to 10 were pretty easy tuned by the built-in Elecraft automatic antenna tuner. It was a little bit difficult on 40 meters, but still, after a few attempts, it made very good tune. So it's there's an advice for basically valid for all the automatic antenna tuners. When it doesn't tune from the first time, let's try and do more attempts. And usually from the second or third attempt, the tuner finds the best tune. And in this case, on 40 meters, let's recheck it. Yes, 1 to 1. Yeah, full output, no problems. Alright guys, the backpack's ready. I'm ready to put it on. Everything seems working nice. Antenna's working, the counterpart is working, no RF feedback on the transceiver, so no common mode current. So it seems that everything's okay and ready for the real hiking endeavor somewhere in the city. If you want to join me, the best way, be the first to know when the next video is coming, is to subscribe to my channel if you wish so. And until we go, please leave your comments and questions in the comment section. And so far, 73. Good luck. See you later. This is Linas LY2H Hotel.